to the Good Roads Podcast. This is your bulletin breakdown for May 25th, 2026. You all should know how this is done by now. We have 3 topics of municipal interest. We have 5 minutes for our contributors to discuss it. And speaking of aforementioned contributors, we are here with our Good Roads contributors, Thomas Barakat and Andrew Blackburn. Gentlemen, how are we doing today? I hope you watched the Canadiens game last night. It's the last Canadian team in the NHL Finals.
Yeah, I was just watching the highlights. Though by the time people listen to this, game 2 might be over. But we just watched game 1 was last night, so they slaughtered the Hurricanes, who had a very, very long break after slaughtering the Sens. And
Flyers.
Sens and the Flyers.
Wow. Made short work of both of them.
Yeah.
But Montreal couldn't have asked for a better opponent going 3-0 against them during the regular season. So
fair enough.
We might see a Canadian team in the Stanley Cup Finals this year. And I for one, am quite excited about it. We haven't seen that since the COVID Cup where Montreal was playing Tampa.
COVID Cup.
Yeah, Canadians were the last team. I think we probably got a couple of players that were still there.
Edmonton.
That was Edmonton. Right. Yeah. That was Edmonton. Yeah.
Easily forgettable Edmonton. I'm sorry to people out west. I neglected Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl out there.
Yeah. But I still before then it was the Habs in the playoffs a few years before that, I think.
And they're the last Canadian team to have won a Stanley Cup, right?
Yes. 93.
93. Yes.
It's been some time.
Yeah, so to get that Canadian on there, we want Canadian team to win the Cup this year and bring it back. Definitely not Vegas because, they've got one not too long ago, and that's probably the closest Toronto's going to get to a Stanley Cup marching down their streets if Mitch Marner decides to bring it back.
Yikes.
All right, with that shot at the Leafs out of our system, why don't we move on to our first topic of the day? Topic number 1, and I'm going to try and do this as Andrew intended, so here we go. Come on, bring the noise. Cameras, that is. Gentlemen, I'm going to put 5 minutes on the clock. Getting the head shake from Thomas. We're going to put 5 minutes on the clock, gentlemen.
We can edit that out, right, Jerry?
Yeah, just a little bit more time.
We're going to leave that in. We've got one other music themed title, so I'm going to be getting into that one as well.
You are warm.
So we're going to put 5 minutes on the clock, and we're going to get started in 3, 2, 1. Let's bring the noise, gentlemen.
All right, bring the noise, cameras. So spring is upon us once again. This is how I wrote it. And that means more noise. You might have heard a lot more noisy cars, definitely more noisy motorcycles. I was out in Niagara on the Lake over the long weekend, and there was a lot of bikers driving extremely slowly and extremely loudly down the main street there, just disrupting everybody's
happens all the time in Oakville too.
No, exactly. And but it's been a continuous issue. It's not a spring it's not exclusive to the spring season. It happens all year round with people.
But it does happen more once the weather gets a bit nicer though.
It gets more, exactly.
Yeah.
Especially with the cars with modified exhaust systems and the street racers in the various communities across Ontario. So this is something that comes up. We talked about this in the old format of our podcast when we interviewed Ingrid Boudet from, I think what's that? No More Noise,
Toronto.
No More Noise. She is among a growing community of people who are just disrupted by noise. They're losing sleep. They're losing, their sanity. Just from cars just ruining the urban soundscape. So this there's a city councillor in Toronto is proposing that we study sound cameras. We do there's a pilot going on in Edmonton right now where they have this new technology that apparently with the aid of the advancing tech and AI, they can figure out who exactly is where the noise is coming from, and they can pinpoint it in a sea of traffic, and they figure out that that's the one. So it's like a camera and a mic and AI all working together. So she's proposed that this be studied in Toronto. So something needs to happen in this space, because it's really hard to actually enforce these things. So the bylaws exist, like, the cops aren't walking around with sound monitors. It's like a very small contingent of the force, and bylaw officers they can't pull them over. They can't pull over noisy motorbikes and cars. It's just beyond. So, and people complain, and the car's gone. Like the police are not going to go like chase after a noisy car.
There's so many other things for them that they need to
give a fine. Exactly. Yeah. It's just like it's just not worth their entrance. So
and the other thing is, cops don't normally just have like noise devices on them. So how they can't really, not saying they can't prove it, because there is a way they do it sometimes.
Yeah.
But it's not something that they do regularly, and it's tough to do on a kind of a broader scale when the cops have much more important things to be doing. It's just kind of like this is kind of the similar argument that we had with automated speed enforcement, that you can't have a cop on every corner. This is where perhaps some sort of device or technology can come into play.
Exactly. Yeah. So it doesn't. I don't think that the existing regulatory framework will actually allow for this to be deployed. So I think there would actually need to be some changes from the province on this. And I'd be very interested to know where they stand on this sort of thing, because it is automated enforcement, but it's just like, is the province going to come out on the side of the people who are causing a disruption to their neighborhoods?
Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know. This is something we'd have to kind of maybe talk to some of our contacts in the ministry to see what they think about it. But we'll see. The interesting thing I would say about this is it's not that novel. Like, this isn't something that's never been in place before. Mm-hmm. So I think Andrew, you had referenced Taiwan. Has already put these in.
Been doing this since 2021. And they have the legislative framework in place. Like, they have like a Taiwan noise control law in place. So they have the federal backing there. So.
And Paris, the city of Paris, France, they also have this in place, and they've had it in place since 2023, I believe.
Okay.
And ironically, I was reading an article about this. Apparently, it's had an effect in reducing car pollution or noise pollution from vehicles. Mm-hmm. But because of that, ironically, other sounds are starting to stand out more. So it's like music, people on terraces,
life,
people
urban,
like honking, and people are kind of starting to complain about that.
Yeah, that's funny. Well, it's kind of funny because like there is like these knock-on effects. Like there was a story last year as one of the corollary stories to New York congestion pricing, that noise pollution is down in the congestion zone in Manhattan because there's less traffic, less honking, less chaos, and just like, there's just like a greater quality of life because people can, they're not just barraged with noise all the time anymore. Yeah. So that's the other option, guys. It's like we either have noise cameras or we introduce congestion pricing into downtown Toronto and reduce the traffic, because it's just
all right. That's a good discussion. There is a third option though.
Mm-hmm.
You know what doesn't make noise? EVs.
Yeah, that's true.
So I will say this: there's some EVs make that really weird EV hum. I don't understand. Some of them you hear it very distinctly. Others you don't hear it at all. I don't know why that is the case. I don't know, Jared, if you know something about that.
You know what? I hear it a lot when I put my car into reverse, and I don't know why. Even the truck too, the same thing. But I mean, it's still not as obnoxious as that Harley going down the road at 3 a.m.
It's not, exactly. Well, and that's an annoying thing. Is like, I don't know if you guys ever watched the show Weeds, one of the earlier HBO. It was HBO or Showtime. I can't remember. But in the 2000s, there was a show Weeds where it's just like it's a story about a suburban mom who becomes a drug dealer on the side in the States, and then she's
sounds like Breaking Bad.
Yeah,
I was going to say
kind of. It's more of a comedy, and she makes friends with the drug dealers, and the guy's just like, he's like, the one of the drug dealers is like equipping all of his guys on the street with Toyota Priuses.
Oh yeah, I've seen this clip
because they're real quiet.
You can sneak up on a
you can sneak up on someone real quiet. Anyway, just was reminded of that.
All right. Okay, that was a good conversation. Fun little end to that. All right, let's move on to our second topic. Teach them and they will build. And let's put 5 minutes on the clock, gentlemen. We're going to get into this in 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
So first of all, I'm grateful that this title was not some sort of song reference that Jared could pierce our ears with.
I tried. I couldn't find one, so you're welcome.
But we're here to talk this time about, or this category, this section of the GRB this week is about induced demand and kind of the people behind it in a way. So, so basically we want to talk about a study that was, I think it was commissioned by the TRB, the Transportation Research Board. And they were basically asking a surprisingly simple question, which is, if induced demand is real, why aren't engineers, traffic engineers, being taught it properly? So for those of you, I'm sure most of our listeners know, induced demand is one of the most important ideas in transportation planning. And the basic concept of it is that adding lanes can temporarily reduce congestion, but over time, those new lanes end up attracting more drivers, and then eventually the road fills back up again. So you're basically back where you were before, but you have a wider road and you spent all that money widening the road.
Yeah, and you have more traffic.
Yes, exactly. So this study found that major engineering textbooks either barely mention induced demand or they explain it very poorly. Many of these textbooks, they still frame congestion as a problem solved mainly through expanding road capacity, kind of like we just talked about. And then the researchers of the study argue that this creates a disconnect between modern transportation policy and then the education the engineers are getting. And then one kind of fascinating stat coming out of this is that engineers are reportedly 4 times more likely than planners to believe that adding lanes actually reduces congestion. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that really reflects like the two very different cultures of these kind of professional designations or professionals. Engineers are really focused on moving vehicles efficiently, and then planners are increasingly focusing on managing demand and offering alternatives.
Yeah.
Right.
If you're talking to an engineer and you have a traffic problem and they just want to build more lanes and that's like, it's not their fault. It's just how they were educated.
And you know what, Andrew, and you might remember our conversation with Wes Marshall. I believe we talked about this with him in his book, Killed by a Traffic Engineer. I think, if I remember correctly, this was in his book about that. Oh, okay. I mean, the whole premise of the book is that engineers are being taught the wrong stuff, the wrong things. And I'm 90% sure, because I have to look at that memory, but I'm 90% sure this was in the book, and we had talked about this with him. Yeah. So not that surprising for Good Roads, for listeners of the Good Roads podcast, or people who are in the Good Roads kind of, what do we call it? We're not the manosphere, the roadosphere, the.
What a terrible association. But sure, yeah.
I mean, everyone knows that Jared is the Joe Rogan of the roadosphere.
Who are you, Ira Sachs? Like,
you know what, Andrew? I don't even know who that is. I don't listen to enough podcasts to know any of these people. All I know is that
he's one of the NPR guys.
You could be the Andrew Tate if you want, because you already have the same name. But anyways, I digress.
Ira Glass. Ira Sachs is a different guy.
Anyways, the point is, this is like, I guess, like we shouldn't be surprised, because it's something that we all know about. And I mean, the built environment and everything, and it all reflects this kind of thinking. I mean, if you look at Ontario here, we're building more highways, we're expanding highways, and it's kind of like, there's this funny meme. I know, I'm sure you guys seen it. It's like, bro, just one more lane, bro. Just add one more lane. Yeah, it's going to solve congestion. It's like, it never does, right? And it's one thing if we just inherit a bunch of this, right? And then we are trying to fix it because we now know. But we're still perpetuating this same kind of outdated thinking. And it's not just like it's when you see new subdivisions being built, when you see new communities being built, they're making the exact same mistakes from the start, which is they're just building roads for cars. They're not incorporating the proper density to support transit or cycling or any sort of stuff. Then they just have to keep expanding lanes and expanding lanes, and then people wonder why no one else does anything except drive. And then all we can do is add more lanes, and it doesn't solve the problem.
Yeah, well, we're definitely stuck in the past with this mentality. So it's like this is just another part of planning and road design that we need to be modernizing and looking to the future instead of the past.
Yes, it's about moving people, not vehicles.
Words to live by, Mr. Thomas. Fantastic. Thank you.
That's pretty big in the rotosphere, Jared.
The more you know. All right. Good discussion there, gentlemen. Excellent point. I mean, that's definitely something schools should be looking at too, is how we teach our engineers.
Yeah.
But anyway, what everybody's been waiting for, I'm going to move on to our next topic.
Gird your loins.
I try this again. Move, car, get out the way. Get out the way, car, get out the way. All right, let's put 5 minutes on the clock and let's get this topic going in 3, 2, 1, go.
All right. Sort of a different angle from the automated vehicle conversations that we've been having in the past. Ford has filed a new patent that will allow.
Sorry, just to be clear, Ford Motor Company, not Premier Doug Ford.
Yeah. Ford. The scientists who work at the Ford Motor Company have filed a new patent that will allow your car to move without you wanting it to. It's one of those things where it's just like, you're telling your car, drive me here, and your Tesla drives you somewhere. This is a little bit different. So collision technology in cars is now pretty much standard. There's all sorts of things like, you got your cameras, your emergency braking. There's all these things that are coming up in cars that trying to prevent that car from colliding into other things. But this new patent is looking at technology that looks at like surroundings coming from all the moving objects in the periphery of the vehicle, and it's sort of watching, making predictions, and sort of thinking like, oh, this looks like it's coming in my direction. I'm going to get out of the way, which apparently, even if the car is parked, and possibly even potentially this technology obviously is still under development, but the objective is just like, your car, we've all heard stories, and some people have probably experienced your car gets slammed into in the middle of the night, and you wake up and you're going, what the hell, who's smashed into my car? Yeah. Hey, what if your car can get out of the way and move back to the spot without anybody being the wiser? So it's kind of interesting. It's sort of like, obviously this is like the next generation of the technology, but just when you look at how all of these existing technologies, they're pretty much standard on a lot of vehicles. Yeah. It seems like something that's going to be standard on a vehicle in the not too distant future.
Yeah, it's interesting. You say that it's all kind of already there, but for me, this is still very like, I read this and I think a few things. First of all is like, okay, how does it know, like if a car's coming, if it's going to bump into it, how does it know which direction to move in, right? Like, I mean, I guess it has sensors.
It's the same thing as the Waymo. It's just like, if there's nothing in front of it, it goes this way. It's right. And I was thinking about the scenarios where this would be put into place. And this is like, it's kind of limited. If a car is coming out of nowhere, there's only so much that car can do to think. And then just like, it's not going to peel out and like drive up on the lawn or something like that.
And then the other thing is like, is the car always on? Like how does like,
no, that's the thing. It's just like,
how does the car have enough time to sense it, turn on, detect if there's anything else there, then go? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, to me, that's
that has interesting implications, especially with the cameras, because like,
that's the other point.
The car is always on, and the cameras are always on watching. That's kind of interesting, right?
Because
Is that how does that work on a power angle? You know, it's just like this sounds like something. This is like, okay, if your car is an EV and it's plugged in, it doesn't really make too big of a difference. But if it's just sitting there, is it just?
Oh, I was more so. Okay, it's funny. Our minds went to different places. I'm thinking more of a we're always being watched kind of thing.
Well, no, but that's the other angle of it. Just like,
has that technology. It's you literally like, and we just talked about how there's so many cars.
Yep.
You keep building more car infrastructure.
Well, that's
really going to be on
that
camera.
Goes back to what I was just saying, where it's just like all these things are standards. It's like I think we're just going to have more and more and more cameras on all of these cars. Like I think the standard Tesla has 9 cameras on it, and I think that's going to become the industry standard right now. It's just like if we're all going to be having all of this collision tech, the more cameras you're going to have on the car, it's just going to become more.
Yeah, I know. I know what you mean, and like. In certain contexts, maybe it makes sense if it's a municipal vehicle, a company vehicle, something that like maybe requires a little bit more of that. But for like everyone's personal vehicle, I don't know. I find that like it's overkill in my opinion.
Yeah,
and I don't think it's out there on too big of a scale in a sense. But
it's just like that's the kind of interesting part where it's just like the cameras are going to be there, and it's just like I was reminded of I have like a little cheap camera I got on Amazon in one of my windows, and I remember I got a cop left their card from the homicide division one time, and they were just like, "Hey, can I have footage from your camera?" It's just like, "Oh, this is just like more and more cameras for
so this is kind of like the car version of like everybody having a Ring doorbell now."
Pretty much, yeah. So if all these cars, all every car all of a sudden has a dozen cameras pointing in all directions, monitoring for moving objects.
Yeah,
it's kind of that's like the weird next level of
and I don't like it now with like AI and facial recognition and big data and all these companies. Like who knows where that information's going, right? And,
well, hey,
or Chinese spy vehicles as
well, like like whether or not you consider how bad of a dystopia Minority Report is. Have you guys seen Minority Report?
Yes,
we have this automated vehicle paradise, but at the same time we have crazy surveillance spiders crawling into the house and scanning everybody's eyeballs.
Exactly.
You heard it here for those who haven't seen it, but I do recommend it. It's a great film.
You heard it here first, folks. 1984 dystopia overlords confirmed by Thomas and Andrew.
Yeah, I mean, there's 2 scenarios. Either we're going towards Minority Report or we're going towards Terminator. So, I mean, choose your poison.
Well, since nobody's come back in time to stop it, I think we're edging ever closer to Minority Report.
Okay. All right.
Anyway, let's get out of this dystopian mindset and move on to something fun. Mr. Thomas, I'm pitching it back over to you after giving it a shot last week. What do we got?
All right. So guys, this ironically, it does kind of it's similar to last week in that we're talking about biking and bike lanes, but completely different context. So apparently earlier this month, famous actor Benedict Cumberbatch. I was going to say Cumberpatch, but Cumberbatch.
Yeah.
Apparently, he ended up getting into a 10-minute road rage fight with another cyclist. So he was cycling, and another cyclist apparently took exception with him. Apparently, he ran 3 red lights. This is what this other cyclist apparently accused him of. And this cyclist apparently started following him. I don't think he knew it was Benedict Cumberbatch, by the way. I don't think he cared. But apparently he started following him and just started like verbally abusing him. And Benedict Cumberbatch got off his bike and they started going at it for about 10 minutes. There was people like onlookers who noticed it was Benedict Cumberbatch, started recording the entire incident. And this is like really, really funny. On the one hand, you have a guy and who's, I guess he follows the rules to a T. And Benedict Cumberbatch
is like a vigilante guy.
Yeah.
Like I don't know,
so
man.
Benedict Cumberbatch claims he only ran 1 red light. And the other guy says, no, you did it like 3 times. And this dude cared so much that he followed him. And then, eventually they just pulled over. They were blocking the bike lane. Ironically enough, last week we talked about bike cops clearing the obstructions. They blocked a bike lane for 10 minutes, arguing with each other. People noticed it was Benedict Cumberbatch. And apparently, after the whole thing was done, Benedict Cumberbatch stopped and took photos with a bunch of young kids who were just kind of just waiting there, watching the whole thing happen. Which just goes to show even the big celebrities have road rage incidents, and even those who cycle, which there aren't a lot of them that we are aware of, but just riding their bike, not even for exercise. It looked like he was in the middle of London there. Just, I don't know what he was doing, but just a regular commuter like anyone else.
Yeah. So, I mean, that is nice.
He's man of the people.
But it's like you got the worst world of those. So, you got you guys who's running all the red lights, and then you got like this, bike Nazi guy who's just like,
but you got to see where that guy's.
Both of these guys are giving cyclists a bad name, I think.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I'm gonna be more on the side of the guy who's yelling at Body Snatch Cumberbund there, because the people who run the red lights, run the signs, pretend they're pedestrians when they're not, or when it like benefits them. These are the people that give cyclists a bad name, and these are the people that like drivers will point to immediately and say, well, these are the problems. This is why we shouldn't have bike lanes and things like that. They're giving biking a bad name. And I don't care, three stop signs or one stop sign. Again, don't stop in the middle of the bike lane and yell at each other. Otherwise you'll have the TPS bike cops out there giving you a ticket.
And while I agree with you, I must point out that this is not a false equivalency between bad drivers and bad cyclists. Cyclists are not driving a 100 or 1,000 pound vehicle that can just annihilate you. So there's always like this. There's always like this, like, oh, the both sides of things. Is like, no, it's not a both sides thing. It's like, sure, yes, they are a hazard, and they are breaking the rules, and they can cause injury, and they you want predictability on the road, obviously, and like that's what the rules are in place for. But it's not like some people always say. It's just like, no, it's just as bad as this. Like, no. When those other bad people on bad behavior on the road, people die. So just got to point that out. Not disagreeing with you, Jared. I wanted to.
But the fun, go back to the something fun part. Now imagine you were just cycling, and there's some jerk ahead of you who's just like breaking all the rules, and you start like, what the heck's your problem? And then like, pulls over, and it's like a massive celebrity, and they just start going at it with you. Like, I don't know, to me, that's really funny. I don't know. Like, it's just such an odd thing to happen.
Hey man, you got to be careful with these
things. Riding bikes anymore.
You got to be careful. You don't know who you're going to talk to. It could be Kiefer Sutherland, and he could just,
Yeah, did he have a bit of a reputation?
Exactly, and that's that's a local example. So you never know. Just be careful.
That's the CanCon example.
Exactly. I was trying to think of somebody who you could actually come across.
I say Keanu Reeves, but he'd probably just be the nicest guy and apologize.
No, he would 100% be the nicest guy. He'd be like, "Oh, sorry, man."
Keanu can do no wrong, though. He wouldn't be caught dead breaking the rules.
That's true.
No,
That's
exactly.
true. Yeah.
But. All right, that was a lot of fun, actually. You never know who you're going to get into a road rage fight with. So you keep your eyes and ears open. Look out for celebrities.
Yeah.
All right. Should we wrap it up there, gentlemen?
Yeah.
All right. That was a good episode for May 25th. Just want to remind everybody, Road Safety School is open for registration. Check it out at goodroads.ca/road safety school. We have 4 courses to choose from. Road safety audits, road safety barriers, active transportation, and traffic safety analytics. All of these will help you keep your community safe. And check them out, goodroads.ca/road safety school. If you're watching this on YouTube, give us a like, comment, subscribe. We love to hear the comments from you, good or bad. put them out there, and we'll definitely get back to you in one way or another. And until next episode, everybody, take it easy.